Welcome back and welcome in to the Honolulu Cheese Podcast. I am your co-host Ryan, joined as always by my brother Mito and a special guest today with Tazim Wajed. We'll get him going in a second. Matt is not present with us today. He had some family stuff to take care of, so that's why I'm doing the intro today. But we want to welcome in a very special guest that we're very excited for. Christian Watson's father, IRL, in real life, Tazim Wajed. Happy to have you here. How you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing great. Doing great. Excited to, whenever there are fans of the Packers, I mean fans of the NFC North, fans of NFL football. So, you know, uh, anytime, man. I'm a football lifer. I love the sport. Obviously, being able to have my sons follow me in it, I followed my dad in it. It's the family business. That's what we share whenever we get on each week and on our podcast with my oldest son. This is it, man. Football has been a an absolute godsend for my life, my family. I mean, it's really why it's how I met my wife. It's how I have my kids. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of how things materialize for me. So
And
looking forward to it.
I do want to say I appreciate how quickly you are to interact with your fans. I've been following you for a little while on my personal Twitter. Um, Whether it's good or bad, someone coming at you, you have something to say, and it's usually not just to say it. It's always teaching someone something. Whether, like we talked about it before we jumped on, there's people that are super disrespectful. You come back with grace, so it's not easy to do. I got to learn that myself. I'm sure my brother's aware of how I respond to people sometimes, but it's admirable. So I do appreciate the quick message back to me, and this is awesome. Like I'm literally talking to one of my favorite players on the Packers' father. So like I never thought I would be able to do that. So I appreciate that. And you're much more than Christian Watson's dad. You have your own resume. So if you want to just introduce yourself a little and just tell us about yourself a little before we jump into it.
Well, my name is Tazim Wajed. I actually share it with you all. I know there are a number of people who have asked. I mean, obviously, there are people who try to use my original name disrespectfully. Call me Tim Watson. You're Tim Watson. No, I'm Tazim Wajed because I actually found my origin family, and that is the name that I've chosen to have at a point where I could actually choose it. But look, man, football has been a part of my life, all my life, pretty much. I started playing at 5, was blessed enough to be really good at it. I had a very interesting recruitment in terms of getting to college. It was one of those where, because I was a National Merit Scholar and I was also a top 100 recruit, I was kind of in the situation coming out of Georgia where, of course, you're going to go to the Bulldogs, right? You're going to go to an SEC school. But then the National Merit Scholar people were like, of course you're going to go to the Ivy League. You have to go to Harvard or Yale or Brown. You're going to be, an Ivy Leaguer, right? So in the midst of all of that, I actually had an uncle who just told me that my responsibility was bigger than that. We had a really long conversation where he kind of just talked to me about what I would be able to do as a young, black man looking at this country, this world, kind of how things operate. If I take my uniqueness, being a, a Mensa basically intellect as well as this high level football player, and I go to the number one HBCU and do well in both of them, which I have 3 college degrees, graduated with honors, academic All American. I did what you would expect a 153 IQ person to do. And then I also, was able to get drafted originally by the Green Bay Packers. So, that's
The
the
right
connection.
squad.
It's interesting that some of the fans, or some people, they act like, you know, I'm just Christian Watson's dad. Like Dude, I'm like very successful in my own right. I actually train Christian. Christian has my DNA. Literally is
I was gonna say Christian's your son more
right,
than
right.
like
He's my son.
yeah.
And as a matter of fact, if I really want to brag about it, if you put our RAS scores next to one another, mine is higher. I'm a 999. He's a 996. So
Can
I'm actually an even more world class athlete than Christian is. So
can you
it's interesting, man. That football is just something that we love, though, as a family. My dad, myself, my oldest son Trey, who I do my podcast with, Christian, and so to be able to have an NFL career, but then also to be able to see your sons have professional football careers. It's look, man, it's I'm living the dream.
Hmm.
I'm technically retired, myself, but at the same time, I'm active in my children's lives at this point, and just being the best husband I can be, the best father I can be, grandfather now, so that's hey, look, that's me. Take me or leave me. Now I'm gonna tell you,
Well,
if you come at me the wrong way, I'm still the hitman. The hitman didn't die. So if you want some, you can get some. I just can't do it in the manner that I used to take out my frustration. So we don't get to
so
sign waivers away. So hey,
it,
look,
is the nickname because you played safety, wrestling fan, a little bit of both, or
I was pretty much a one shot guy, and whether it was football or fighting, I never had anybody who could take a blow from me and stay awake. So I was the hitman. If
fair?
I hit you, you were asleep.
that's actually why you're here. Moran wants to try it out for himself.
No,
You
I'm
mind?
good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
if I hit you, you went night night. I was actually I was a Golden Gloves boxer when growing up. My dad also trained us in that as well. So football, boxing. I mean, I kind of had the combat sports down. I
Yeah.
didn't do wrestling. But if anybody was dumb enough, I guess you would say, to challenge me. Now I knew not to be the one to hit first because I'm basically you're talking about a lethal weapon. So if you hit me first, then it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I find two things crazy. One, I also started playing football at 5, and I didn't become a legend or a drafted player or anything like that. So, I guess it doesn't happen for everybody. And two, the odds of making it to the NFL for one person are astronomical, right? You ever see that graph that's like in the millions, billions, whatever?
Right, right. Oh, yeah.
The odds of having kids who go to the game as well as you is has got to be in like the trillions. Like I don't understand how that works.
That's the crazy part about it because I've been following you for so long. Every time you say something someone doesn't like, it's always let's revert to his stats. And I don't care if someone has no stats. To get there, that's a stat within itself. Like I
Honestly.
don't that's not like the comeback you should be using
Right.
on someone. There's not very many people that make it to where you made it. So it's just it's
And especially if you're not yourself an NFL player. Like,
correct.
I mean, look, if Tom Brady was like, "Hey, Tazim, yeah, but look at how many tackles you had," right? Then of course we can laugh about it and be
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, you're right, you're right."
Yeah.
But dude, how you gonna be a fan of the NFL football, and even guys like Kurt Binker, right?
I was just about to bring him
Even
up because it's
guys like
always the
that
same
who
thing.
really didn't do much of anything in terms of stats, right? Even guys like that. Do you know? I mean, I can't really say it in a manner that's a question because I will tell you people don't really know. But I will break down these numbers because the NFL used to have me actually do these speeches. I used to travel to colleges for NFL player development. And what we were sharing was transition material. So helping them obviously transition from college to either NFL, real world, whatever was going to happen for them. And then from NFL to life afterwards, because you don't know if it's going to be what you never get signed, or you get a training camp invite, or you're a tryout guy, right? There are some guys who literally their only time putting on an NFL uniform was they had a tryout during minicamp, and they never were signed again. But anyway, so these are the numbers. There are 20 million kids annually. Now, let me revert to the year of these numbers, so I can imagine the numbers probably are even more now, right? In terms of the lower level, because it's gotten so popular, especially with flag football and everything. But in 1999, these were the numbers. There are 20 million kids playing in the youth league. So again, Ryan, I'm talking about that time where we started, right? 5 years old. So there are 20 million of them playing. By the time they get to high school, there are only 1.3. So I want you to even think about how special you have to be a high school player. Because before you got there were 20 million of you. So there are 1.3 million high school. Okay, you get to college, there are 78,000 in college playing football. So you've gone from 20 million, 1.3 million, 78,000. Again, special, right?
Yeah.
National Football League, 1,696.
That is nuts.
1,000
from 20 million. That's pretty insane.
96. So the numbers are pretty astronomical for anyone to talk crazy, is the best way for me to really put it, to somebody who, like, first of all, let's just put it this way from the standpoint of me giving my resume. I was an All-American football player. I wasn't just a football player. I was an All-American football player. So of the 78,000, I was one of the 100, okay, who becomes an All-American for multiple years. Besides that, I was a draft pick in a draft that was only at what is it, 7? It's 7 rounds now. My draft was 8 rounds, right? So even at that point, 8 rounds of a draft, that's only 300 people, I think, 300 something people. I know now it's like 230 something. But anyway, you get my point. I mean, you're talking about 300 people get drafted, right? So somebody gets drafted. They're a academic All-American, an All-American in college, and I didn't just get to camp and get cut and go back home. I literally am a vested veteran being paid right now by the NFL for the rest of my life. Do you think you could just do that off of being somebody, hey, well, he was a nice guy. They liked him a little bit. No, I was a fucking ridiculous athlete. And they said, man, I know he's had some injury issues, whatever, but we're going to try our best to get this dude going. So, yeah, I mean, it's special, man. It's special.
100%. And I'm with Mito on this one too. I've been following you on Twitter since we invited you to the show a little bit. And I do appreciate the graceful responses. I want to let Moran go over the tweet that got our interest peaked to invite you on the show. Okay. And we'll kind of just jump into it. So, Moran, what did you have for us?
So, I'm paraphrasing. And correct me if I'm wrong on anything. You had mentioned that the way the receiving core runs in Green Bay, it's basically one game is going to be one person that's focused on. Next game is going to be someone else. There's no game plan to like hone in on one player. So it's hard for one player to get set amount of targets. And then with you saying that is why the numbers are reflected. The numbers aren't reflected because the players that are playing are not good receivers. It's more they're reflected on the game plan week to week. And I don't know if you've listened to our show. I've said it multiple times, and I'm not like kissing up to you because Christian Watson's your son, but I've said multiple times that the Packers have the best receiving core in football because I know from 1 to 6, there's multiple receivers on this team that would be 1 or 2s on other teams because I watched the game. I didn't play football. I'm not one of 78,000, but I've watched enough football to know someone can play football. So if you want to dive into that a little, also just how many people came at you. One doofus on the NFL Network, I'm not going to say his name, came at you. So it's an interesting topic to me, and that's why I wanted to speak to you first and foremost, but also I've seen your story. So if you want to jump into that a little, we can get into the meat and potatoes, as they say.
Okay. First, look, let me tell you as it relates to this receiving core we have, right? And I'm talking about core as in CORPS, right? I'm talking about all of them. So from 1 to 7, right? We have, from a traits standpoint, from a absolute traits standpoint. So I'm talking about the guys who it wouldn't matter who else is out there. These guys can create their own separation. They can do what they need to do to get open. We have at least 3 of those, maybe 4, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you who they are. This is the thing. When it comes to analyzing football, I'm not a dad. I'm telling you all what we see, right? When you're breaking down the traits and what's needed. But we have from what they refer to as a wide receiver 1 traits type guy. We have Wicks, Golden, and Watson. When I say maybe 4, we haven't seen Reed used outside enough to know whether or not he could do it outside. He gets so much schemed stuff that we're assuming he needs to be schemed open. How do we know that whether he can do the outside stuff? We don't. We know Golden can because they put him out there. We know Wicks can. They put him out there. We know Christian can. He plays all 3 of the positions. So we know about those 3. Dobbs to me is a high 2. What I mean by that is he is a trustworthy number 2. We haven't seen him be able to create that separation by himself. But if there's a stretcher on the field with him, you see what he can do, right? Great hands, strong to the ball, and that type of stuff.
When you say like not creating for yourself, you talking like straight go routes?
No, in man coverage.
Okay.
In man coverage, can you beat that guy
In front
regardless of what anybody else is doing? It don't even matter what anybody else is doing. If we just let you line up against this guy right here multiple times, will you beat him most of the time? And I mean, we have 3.5 years of film, so we know that that's not his game. That's not what we are able to say is the way he does it. He does it from a complementary standpoint, meaning when there are other guys drawing and moving things, he can. Just to give an example, Wicks got off the bus creating separation. Like literally, the very first time we saw him run a route, the dude left his guy, like the guy ran like out and in, like he was running the in cut. That dude was falling down like on the out part of it. So I mean, but that's how he operates. So so you got those guys. I think Heath. I think the reason we have Heath and are able to have him on our team is because he was an undrafted free agent, and nobody else has been able to see him play enough to even. They probably haven't even offered for Heath. I know they've offered for the rest of them. Like they want Wicks right now.
Yeah, I read about that today.
We'll see. What do we have? We have like 8 days, I think.
Yep.
We'll see. But they want Wicks right now. So I don't know. What do our guys feel about that? But so you got, like I said, you go down the list, man. You got Christian, Romeo, Reed, Golden, Wicks. You have Heath. Like I said, I think Heath and Dobbs are both twos. Savion is gadget until they teach him how to be a receiver. Savion is a gadget guy. I think Savion is exactly what Cordarrelle Patterson was. Yeah. I think right now he is. Now, if they decide they want to spend some time, invest some time, teaching him to be a true receiver, then we'll see. But I think we could, if we used him more and what his strengths are, I think we could get value out of him, even just being that gadget guy.
So I know, obviously Christian just got paid. With what you're saying about Romeo, would you be okay with him moving on? Not him as a person. We all know he's a great guy, all that good stuff. But like as a player, do you think he's easily the most expendable of those that you mentioned?
Of all the guys, the starters, of the starters, I would say probably he would be the one, just because the other guys have other uses. So in other words, Wicks can create on his own. Reed is a true F. I mean, he is a move guy, and we see what he does after the ball is in his hands. Now, see, that's the other thing that we have to learn though about Golden, to see if he is going to be a better YAC guy in the NFL than he was in college, because he was not in college. I mean, we could pretend because he ran a 4.29 that he is, and it seems like some fans want to pretend that, but are we going to just be truthful about the evaluation? I mean, the evaluation is he broke out like at the end of his college but his last college season, he broke out. And he broke out in a manner that says, man, we can do something with that. We can do something with that. And you want to talk about a strong to the ball guy. I mean, Golden is one of the strongest attackers of the football for a rookie receiver that you'll ever see. And I can't really think of anybody else with that type of strength to the ball, attacking the ball. I mean, the guy, and he is confident. I mean, he's confident at it. But after that, we haven't yet seen the types of 1, 2, 3 moves. Like Wicks is not going down on the first guy. Hardly ever. Like I mean, you watch him. I don't care how slow he's moving. I mean, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about, but when he catches the ball, somebody's gonna miss. Somebody's probably gonna get run over, and somebody's gonna get dragged for a while. I mean, that's just kind of how he plays. But on the premise of the question, Green Bay is a ambiguous scheme passing team. So that's what he's chosen. That's what MLF has chosen to do in terms of how he calls his passing game. So when he go into a game, instead of the back in the day, A-Rod's first read is going to be Devontae, no team knows who the first read is going to be in any week with this particular team. And I already know, I mean, it can be frustrating, right? It certainly can be frustrating if it's the week you don't get very many targets. But how could we, as a team winning games, I mean, we're the number 1 seed in the NFC. We're the number 2 seed in the entire NFL. If we start complaining about how we win, man, we don't deserve to win.
So that's the thing too. I think that when you're winning, all is good, right? Like the old adage is winning solves every problem. Everyone's happy when everyone wins. I think the thing is when there are those games where the offense just doesn't click for whatever reason. It's the NFL, happens to every team. We get it. But when you need someone to go out there and make a play, this is where I think the fans' frustration comes in. For the Lions, for example, right? If we have like a 3rd and 9 that we need, I know that Amon-Ra is going to run a curl route and catch that ball, no problem. Like we've done that at least 6 times in the past 3 years to win a game. I think the issue for fans comes, and I'm not speaking for all of them, but the ones who feel this way, is probably we don't have that guy, we feel, that we can just go to in that moment of need where we know it's going to happen. And it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? Like, I get the ambiguous thing you're saying, like teams can't prep for it. You kind of catch them off guard and off, surprise. But there's also like that it guy factor that I think a lot of fans crave.
So
this is the thing, though. Let me say this.
Yeah.
I think we're missing the point off of taking fans' perception as being the team's perception.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me when Christian has dropped a big play ball, 4th down, 3rd down.
I know which one he's going to say. Go ahead, Ryan. We watched it live in Vegas. Go ahead.
Are we talking about the first play of the year? But that wasn't the 3rd or 4th down, though. That wasn't your question.
No, it was,
that was the first play of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was his first play of his career.
That's right, I remember.
Yeah.
I
thought he was going to bring it up.
I thought about it, but when you said 3rd or 4th down, I bit my tongue.
That's when the big play is. We're not talking about I mean, because literally, Justin Jefferson has dropped wide open bombs, right?
100%.
Yep.
Chase has. I mean, all of the guys have dropped those, but when it's critical situation, who did Aaron go to? Rookie year, critical situation. We were literally in a dogfight with Dallas until Aaron said it's time. Right? Okay, so that's one. Now, for Romeo, they aren't afraid at all to go to Romeo in critical situations, right? Mm-hmm. And this year, not last year, because we certainly had the issue with Wicks last year, but this year, no problem at all in terms of Wicks. We've gone to already golden this year. So this is the problem. Fans think you have to have one. We have gone to several. We have gone to several of these guys. They don't look at these guys the way fans look at these guys. Fans are worried about target numbers in terms of it being
It's fantasy.
An abundance of targets. Now, and I'm going to say this about Amon-Ra, right? Understand that he is an anomaly in that you can't really even quantify what makes him good. What makes Amon-Ra good is something that you would have to go inside of him to see. Because he doesn't run fast. He's not big. Now he is strong though.
Yeah,
he
he
is
is.
strong, so we can quantify that.
Uh-huh.
He one of the strongest wide receivers in the NFL. But in terms of all those things that supposedly makes receivers great,
Yeah, the traits.
he doesn't have that. But yet you put a now the other thing I would say is this. Is Amon-Ra, or let's name some of the other guys who are big money guys who AJ, Chase.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
ones, wide receiver one,
The
Right.
alphas.
right? If it's 3rd and 4 and you're down 6, if they put Surtain out there on him and press, you think they're going there?
Right.
So
Right. I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
I'm gonna tell you, people are saying all that stuff, but they're not really using full football IQ in breaking down why it's a better system to have multiple guys capable of being ones, multiple guys capable of being twos, rather than having 2 real high-end guys and then a whole bunch of dudes who could have been on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. Like with Ryan saying, do you have that guy to go to? You don't lead the league in 3rd down percentage because we don't have a guy to go to. We have guys.
Multiple. We have multiple.
So, like that's
Right.
it's not an accident. And I try to tell people, like, I've been watching this team since I was 6 years old. And you look at the Packers every single year, you don't accidentally become a top 10 offense. And then at the same time, if you want to say we have nobodies at receiver and then come back and say Jordan Love's average, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. It doesn't make sense. Like, one has to be the other. So if the receivers all blow, excuse my language, then Jordan Love's GOAT level. If Jordan Love blows, then how are the receivers scoring point? Like, it can't be both. What could be true is the receivers are very good. They just don't get to put up those numbers because of the way the team is. And what could also be true is Jordan Love is very good because it's not easy to have to feed multiple people. That's actually hard within itself.
Right.
And I would be very curious to watch one of these guys get traded. Like if Dobbs got traded to, I don't know, like the Patriots or something. Drake May's balling. They don't really have an established dude, right? Like they kind of have the booties.
They got Diggs, but he's older.
And Diggs, yeah, right. So I would be very interested to see one of these guys get traded and see if they can become that alpha on another team where they don't have Matt LaFleur and the enigma that is the Packers receiving room and who they're going to go to.
But at the same time, if Dobbs goes to another team and doesn't do well, doesn't that prove that the Packers system is working?
100%. But I think that I actually think that's the better thing for you guys as fans and followers of the team, right? I think that kind of certifies, okay, LaFleur knows what he's doing, Love's playing very well, and he has had a good year this year. And Dobbs is your leading wide receiver so far this year. You know,
I think though that each of the wide receivers that I named anyway, each of those guys I named, they would absolutely light up another NFL offense that targeted them a lot. I mean, Wicks is Puka playing for the Packers. That's who Wicks is. Wicks is Puka Nacua. He just plays for the Packers. He's a yak guy. You get the ball in his hands and let him run. That's what Puka is. Have you seen where Puka catches most of those balls? They get him moving just shortly. He may be 8 yards away from Stafford. Just get the ball in his hands. Let him go. But we are not going to throw the ball to a guy that many times. We're just not going to do it. So they talk negatively about our guy, and I'm like, y'all going to be real mad. I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to be real pissed off if Wicks is the one who gets traded, because he's gonna go for a whole bunch of catches and yards. Now they may be a losing team too.
Wicks is, my brother knows that I've loved Wicks ever since he got drafted. I am a Wicks diehard. I love how that guy plays, and we have chats with our friends, like 12 guys deep. If Wicks doesn't have a catch, I get bombarded with messages. I'm like, and it's tiresome. It's hard to explain what the Packers are if you don't watch them every day. And are there some things that are frustrating? Yes. On 3rd and 5, running it up the gut to gain 1 yard, yes, that's frustrating. Doesn't make sense when you have those guys.
Right.
But as a whole, I think our offense is damn good, if not one of the best in the league. And I think it's just getting started. That's not being a fan. You watch the game and you can see there's so many weapons. Christian Watson came back, and again, this isn't because you're on the show, but I literally said it in our chats. When Christian Watson comes back, the middle's going to open up. Go figure. Tucker Kraft has his best game. That's not by accident. So it's exciting, and I hope
it's the gravity. I mean, and the levels are purposeful as well in terms of how he drafted and who they drafted. So having the Reed type, the Golden type, the Christian Watson type, the Wicks type, the Dobbs type, they create levels. Naturally, they create levels. Now, I will tell you that people are really wrong trying to compare Golden to Christian, and it's unfair to Golden, quite frankly. Golden is not a Christian Watson comparison. I don't know why people think that's not what he did in college. That tells me people didn't even watch his college film.
It's just because they both run fast. That's
right.
The only comparison.
That's it. They think because Golden ran a 4.29 that he does what Christian does. What I'm waiting to see, and it was happening this last game, is just that the one read was open, so he never got to 2 on some of these. But go back, if you all have all 22, go back and watch this film. You're going to see multiple times where there are double ends, double posts, and it's Christian is up top, Golden is underneath, or Golden is up top, Christian is underneath. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you can't cover both of them. That's just, it's impossible. You can't. You don't have one person who can run with them. So you got to figure out. So how am I gonna help? I can't. You can't do it, right? So it's going to happen, but you got to understand how and why each is used and what their use is when they're together. And you got to understand they have to still figure that out, because we've got one game of Golden and Christian playing together. We only got one game. I mean, let the coach figure this thing out, man. And I think it'll really turn up in a manner that will be a lot heavier anyway pass than what people have seen in the past. And I say that because that's the strength of our offense right now, to be honest with you. It's not the run game.
No, the run game's been bad this year.
What's that?
I said the run game's been bad this year. You can call it what it is.
It has not been the strength. So it's complementary, but when you talk about where our mismatch is, it's in the pass. It's them trying to cover all these weapons. That's the mismatch.
So I gotta ask, as Christian Watson's dad, what are some of Christian's weaknesses that you think he has? And not even a weakness, just I don't like using the word
Well,
weakness.
the thing, every player has, and the way we actually break down ourselves is what do we need to work on?
Correct.
What do you need to work on the most? And then what are you best at, right? So for Christian, what I believe Christian needs to work on the most is using his strength and his size more. Now, the amazing thing is that's been my talk with him since his really rookie year, because I got some friends of mine who actually are now officials in the league, and they've been able to kind of really explain to me kind of, well, considered a push off, what is considered too much contact, and all that kind of stuff, right? Just to understand. And Christian is not using everything, or at least he wasn't using everything. Go back and look at this last game. I'm like, okay. He so maybe we're understanding now. You'll see. He is not letting anybody get on him. They can't. He's not letting them do it. That's his area, though. That's the area where you want to see more work. And then my second thing was attacking the ball. Well, did you see that deep out? He came back hard to the ball. So I'm like, oh, we're making steps. Baby steps, right? We're making the steps. So playing strong. Let's look, man. You are too big, too strong, too fast to have anybody be physical with you, right? So that's number one. The other one, attack that ball. Attack the ball, dude. His hands are huge. I mean, his hands are almost the size of mine. Like you see my hand. My hand is almost 11 inches. Christian's is 10.
So
I think he's 10 and a half.
Yep.
I mean, look, if you saw football, if I had a football in my hand right now, you'd be like, how could you ever drop the ball? But that's Christian. I mean, I'm telling you, the ball disappears in his hand. So go attack the ball, man. So those are the main two, I would say, that I want to see him just do consistently, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I want to ask too, how do you see him handling his injury history, like the mental toll that's taking? Because I feel like, I mean, you kind of mentioned that when you were talking about like your playing days too, you know, I have to imagine that it takes its toll on a player just wanting to be out there so badly and just not being healthy enough to do it. How do you see him dealing with that?
Well, he handled it. He has handled it, I think, like he. I mean, you would think he's a 40-year-old. I mean, the guy he has resolve that you would not imagine a young man of his age would have. So, is it disappointing? Yes. Does he express his disappointment? Yes. Does he pout about it? No. Like literally, what he does is he goes to work. Like, what do I need to do next? What's next? How can I get this better? Like that whole thing of trying to figure out what is going on, man, with these hamstrings. I mean, what in the world, and getting that situated. It was, I mean, he just tell me what do I need to do? I mean, that has never been an issue though. Not even, as a kid. So I would say it showed us his resolve, man, that he's a resolute young man. I mean, he takes it. It's disappointing, But his answer to disappointment is not what you would think or what you see. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
see how some people basically they get depressed, right? Go into a funk. Matter of fact, they don't even do their rehab like they're supposed to. So they end up, with even a worse situation. So,
Mm-hmm.
What's
you know,
crazy, he was running routes in training camp, like at the
right.
end of training camp, and I'm like, he tore his ACL. I was wondering what we were doing here, to be honest with you. But like, yeah, it's wild. We've seen players tear ACLs and not come back for 2 years, or like come back and can't even run a full route, an out route, whatever it is.
Right.
So it's not like you're just talking him up because he's your son either. Like, you see the work he's put in, and we're one game in, and he played very well. It's not a coincidence that our offense had the best game of the year. I don't want to take the Cowboys game because it's the Cowboys. I can score on them, so I'm not going to look at that. But it's so obvious how important he is to the offense.
Yeah, and I ask
just
about
believe,
that.
man, that it's a great fit in terms of like I said, their levels, right? In terms of how they put the receiving core together. But there's also, you can see that there's also a culture, right? There's a mindset and a way of building a team that we can see Green Bay has. And quite frankly, there are certain players who would not do well here, right? There is no way, there are some receivers that'll be like, nah, they be burning the house down. They talked about Romeo last year about him being frustrated or whatever. They wouldn't have to worry about it with some guys in terms of figuring out if they're frustrated. They'll tell them. They, they'll be on the interview. Be like, man, look, I'm gonna need more targets. They'll say it right on there. So, you got to have a certain type of player here, man, and I think we do. We have a team of players that look like they believe in what the coaches are saying. And I'm not saying that means every coach is right or everything they're doing is right. But what I'm saying is that if you get a team that buys into it, then, man, look, the sky's the limit if they're talented, and we can see that they are.
So I have a segue question. I want
Mhm.
you to kind of finish my sentence. Green Bay will go as far as blank this season.
As far as their defense is able to take them from the standpoint of pass coverage. I think I think that if you stacked our team against anyone else, um, for some reason the line has been questionable this year. Offensive line has been questionable this year, and our if we don't have that less than 2.5 seconds release from the quarterback, then anybody except Carrington Valentine seems to be having a hard time, covering. So we got to figure that out. it's gonna be as far as that group can go.
Hobbs has so far, straight up say it, it's been a miss. I don't know if it's
He shouldn't be
injury related.
outside though. He should.
He,
Hobbs is not an outside corner.
yeah,
I'm not sure why you take a guy who was doing what he was doing in the slot and you sign him off of that, and then you put him outside. It's like, what are we doing? Because look, CV showed us 2 years ago that he can play outside well, and we progressed beyond that. So it's like, okay, wouldn't the best makeup of nickel in a pass situation be CV outside, Hobbs at nickel, and Nixon on the other side? But I would have CV travel with number one, because right now, again, I mean, we got to go with what we see on film. I mean, right now, CV is pretty much who we got who can cover.
They've What's crazy about Valentine is they've tried to get rid of this man 3 times. Like, not get rid of him.
Sit him down. Yeah,
correct. They've benched him. Year 1, he was balling.
Right.
Last year, he was balling. This year, he's balling for the first game or whatever they played him. Or yeah, first game because 2 games.
The 2 games.
Yeah, because
Hobbs did well.
Yeah, because Hobbs was out, and then it takes Hobbs getting torched to put this man back in, and it's shut down. Like, I'm not saying like he's one of the best corners in the league, but he's playing
He
very.
Could be. He could be. We don't know.
Yeah,
they won't let him stay. They won't let him stay in.
He's playing very well, and honestly, that about Valentine is what I love the most, because there's some guys you bench them twice, and they're like, shit, I'm gonna go to the XFL. I'll make my money, and I'm good. Like,
Right.
This guy just doesn't quit, and he's earned it. Like, and the one thing I will give the Packers credit for, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Packers have been a team when they sign a free agent, they tend to hold on a little bit too long. The benching of Hobbs shows that they don't care about the money this year, or in general. Like, them benching Hobbs makes
They're
me
all
think,
in, is what
correct.
it is. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, they're all in. They're all
Exactly.
in. They believe they have a true Super Bowl team this year, and that means that when something's not going, which they gave it 3 games, when something's not going like it's supposed to be, okay, let's see what this looks like. So yeah, I agree with you. This is something that I think they're all in.
Banks might be next. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll
All right.
see.
I got a follow-up question to wrap us up. Who is the Green Bay Packers' biggest threat, and why is it the Detroit Lions?
Well, let me tell you this. I actually love Dan Campbell. I love the culture.
I knew I liked you, Tazim.
I love the dogged tenacity that he draws out of his players. I hate the Detroit Lions because they play in the same division as the Packers. However, if you were to break down who are the ones I am most concerned about in the NFC, it's Detroit, the Rams. The 3 I think who are on the top are Green Bay, Detroit, and Los Angeles. Those are the 3 I believe are on top.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the the Eagles are the reigning Super Bowl champions. However, their DB situation is way worse than ours. Those dudes can't cover my high school team wide receivers. If they don't get there on their pass rush, those dudes are in trouble. So if all of their guys, I don't know why they did what they did in the offseason with the DBs, but I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did, because all it took was one of their guys to not be available to show us that they don't have anybody else. Those guys can't cover. And because they don't cover, when they lost one of their high-level edges, right? So now you got basically one guy getting pressure up the middle. You got a guy who is okay coming on the outside. Well, that's not going to get it. They need the ball. They need the ball coming out of there. So those are the 2 I would say who are the highest level threats. It seems that the Lions have certainly, gotten themselves back on track in terms of what people were I know people were calling them all kinds of names after we smoked y'all in week one. They thought, okay, yeah, these dudes, they lost it. Well, no, they didn't. They didn't lose it. And of course, we see that Hutch is back to being Hutch. So, and hey man, look at Barnes. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Barnes is playing out of his mind right now
sneaky
too.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing out of his mind. So, and
Hmm.
then this is my last statement I'm gonna make on y'all's Detroit Lions. I'm I can't really figure out, is it the environment that Dan Campbell has created, or is it the players? Because man, y'all had 3 practice squad dudes in the game against the Bucks, and they were playing just as well or better than Kirby and Branch.
The
So I'm like,
Legion of
well,
Whom. There they
wait
are.
a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. Is it are Kirby and Branch really all that good, or is it the system, bro? Come on, man. Them dudes came. One of them got signed off the practice squad. 2 of them were elevated.
Yeah.
What the heck, man?
That
I
was a nasty performance
I
in a good
That's
think
way.
crazy.
it was nasty. I think Kelvin Shepard had his best game as a DC. I think he came in with the perfect game plan. We talked about it a little bit last week. Um, and it allowed guys like that to shine. But honestly, if you want to give the credit to Dan Campbell, I'm all for it, man. Like you talking about, like he's the face of our team. He is the face of the Detroit Lions, and that is a crazy thing to say about an NFL team where players are so recognizable and advertisable that your coach is truly the face of your organization. But he is. Like since day one, he has turned it around. And I love that we were on Hard Knocks when we were, because it really showed like that transformation happening in great detail, and it showed how he's not just like a meathead rah 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 guy. Like he's actually a very smart dude, and he's also a master motivator. Like he's able to squeeze every last drop out of the players he needs, because that's just the kind of dude he is. And he will, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm 195 pounds in my basement. I'm ready to run through my wall for this guy
Well,
every
look,
time he
man,
says
he's
something.
a leader of men, and this
Yes.
I'll share this with you all. That my transition from football, and I did get a chance to coach, and I coached in the NFL Europe for a couple of years, and then Sean Payton actually gave me an opportunity in New Orleans to coach there, and I realized that I couldn't be the father I wanted to be
Hmm.
if I did that, so I didn't continue coaching. But one of the things I learned during the process in terms of what's most important. There are some guys who are great schematically with the X's and O's and all that stuff. Uh, the greatest coaches ever are the ones who have that and are leaders of men. But if you're saying, what do you need to be a head coach? It's the leaders of men part. And I'm going to tell you right now, I believe that Dan Campbell is unmatched on the leaders of men part. I don't, there isn't another one right now that is equal to him on that piece.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have higher levels of the both together, but in terms of that piece of it, man, I mean, he has that down pat. I mean, that's his thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a strength. Um, Anything you want to say before you get out of here, Tazim? I mean, we appreciate you joining. It's been a lot of fun, but anything you want to leave us with?
Look, man, my thing is, when you reach out to me, and this, I'm sharing this message, man, because you all, you reached out to me, you were respectful, you asked about, coming on and talking on this subject matter, and I just want to share who I am. Look, I am a 55-year-old lifelong football lover. And when I say I love this game, I'm talking about it was my first love, and it's still my greatest love in terms of the length of time that I've loved it. I haven't had anything I loved that I knew I loved for 50 years like this.
She's drying her hair. We're good. We're good.
Right. Well, I met her in college in 1989, so it's not going.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? It's still not going to compare, and she knows that. She'll tell you. She'll tell you. Now she's my best love, but football is my greatest love, and so understand that we can have the conversations, we can have the dialogue around different things when it comes to fandom and all that stuff. I don't play about my family. I certainly don't play about mental health. And when people start messing with the players about the mental health stuff, or things that I know will lead in that direction. Even like right now, what's going on with Matthew Golden? I think folks need to, if they really are fans of the team, and they, instead of wondering why he shut down his Instagram, how about just shutting up and supporting the young man and cheering him on? How about that? I think we just need to learn, man, that football players, they're also human beings, right? And when you got the young ones, a 21-year-old, 22-year-old, I mean, you're talking about a guy, his brain's not even going to be formed fully yet for 3 more years. Mm-hmm. It won't be till 25 when the guy has a fully adult brain, and people, don't really get that. So I'm that guy, man. I'm that guy. I'm gonna come. If you come at me, I'm coming. I ain't going anywhere, and I'm certainly not gonna go anywhere when it comes to the Packers and my family. So I appreciate you all, man. This was fun. I appreciate the conversation, and again, like I said, I appreciate the respect.
And hopefully we can do this some other time when you're free. Got a lot of football left, and we'll be playing into February, so we can have a lot of conversations.
There you go. There you go.
If you want to come on after Thanksgiving, after taking that L, we're more than happy to have you back. No, that game's going to be amazing. But thank you.
Look, that's going to be a heck of a rematch.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Rematch.
I can't wait. Circle on the calendar.
Funny story. My wife went to the first Packers game with me when we got married. She asked me whose jersey I should buy. I got her Watson's. So we got a size small Watson up in the closet, one of her favorite players. So this is awesome. We appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you so much for coming on. You're welcome back anytime, Tazim. And as always, may your Kool-Aid stay blue.
And your head stay cheesy.
Da Bears for Matt. See you guys.
All right.